The massive alien vessel emerged from behind Jupiter, its hull gleaming under the distant sunlight. Earth's sensors had only detected it 3 days ago, triggering global panic followed by hasty preparation. Now, Captain Jun Park stood on the bridge of the UES Pathfinder, humanity's most advanced spacecraft, watching the approach of beings from another world. All systems nominal, reported his second-in-command, Maya. First contact package ready for transmission. June nodded, trying to steady his breathing. Years of training hadn't prepared him for the weight of representing his entire species. Send the package, he ordered. The transmission contained Earth's location, basic human biology, mathematical principles, and simple greeting messages in 50 languages. For 3 hours, there was only silence. Then the alien ship released a small shuttle that accelerated toward the Pathfinder. They're requesting docking permission, Maya said, her voice tight with tension. Granted, Jun replied. Alert the welcome team. In the docking bay, Dr. Rinley fidgeted with her translator device. As Earth's foremost xenolinguist, she had developed theoretical frameworks for alien communication, but this would be her first real test. The airlock hissed open. Through the steam stepped 2 beings unlike anything humans had imagined. Tall and slender, with 4 arms and skin that shifted colors like living opals. Their eyes, 3 per face, blinked in vertical slits. Welcome, Rin said, stepping forward. We are humans of planet Earth. The taller alien made a series of clicks and whistles. Rin's translator processed the sounds, then produced a mechanical voice. We are Valori of the Stellar Accord. Your species is unknown to our records. The meeting moved to the conference room. The aliens, who called themselves Valori, explained they had existed as a spacefaring civilization for over 6,000 years. They belonged to an alliance of 19 species that governed most of the nearby galaxy. Your development is unusual, the Valori leader said, skin shifting to deep blue. Most species require guidance to achieve space travel. June felt a flicker of pride. Humans are naturally curious and determined. So we observe, the alien replied. Perhaps dangerously so. The conversation continued for hours. The Valori seemed increasingly puzzled by human responses. When offered advanced technology in exchange for Earth's resources, Jun insisted on fair trade agreements. When questioned about Earth's divided nations, he explained how diversity of thought drove human innovation. During a brief recess, Dr. Lee pulled June aside. They're testing us, she whispered. They expected us to be either aggressive or subservient. We're neither. What does that mean for us? June asked. I'm not sure, but I think we've surprised them. When they returned, the Valori leader's skin had shifted to an iridescent purple. We have a proposal, it said. A test of your species' capabilities. The test was simple yet impossible. Repair their damaged atmospheric processor within 6 hours using only Earth technology. The processor contained elements unknown to human science. June gathered his best engineers. We can't fix what we don't understand, Chief Engineer Thomas grumbled. Then understand it, June replied. Humans have always learned by doing. For 5 hours, they worked, combining Earth's best technology with creative problem-solving. They couldn't replicate the alien materials, but they discovered ways to bypass damaged components with modified Earth substitutes. With minutes remaining, they reactivated the processor. It hummed to life, operating at 68% efficiency. Not perfect, but functional. The Valori were silent for a long moment. Then the leader's skin shifted to bright gold. Unexpected, it said finally. Most species would have failed or begged for assistance. Humans don't give up easily, Jun said. We have misjudged your potential, the Valori admitted. The Stellar Accord has protocols for first contact with developing worlds. Those protocols may be inadequate for humanity. As the aliens prepared to depart, their leader approached June privately. We will return in 1 Earth year with representatives from the Accord. Before then, your people should prepare. Not all species welcome new minds at the galactic table. Are we in danger? June asked directly. All change brings risk, the alien replied. But perhaps the greater risk would be leaving humanity to develop alone. Its skin rippled with complex patterns. Your species solves problems differently. This quality may prove valuable to us all. After the Valori ship departed, Earth buzzed with activity. Governments formed new alliances, scientists studied the limited data shared by the aliens, and military forces accelerated their development. Humanity had 1 year to prepare for its galactic debut. Standing at the view screen, Jun watched the alien vessel vanish into deep space. Humanity's isolation had ended, but their greatest challenge was just beginning. 1 year after first contact, the massive Stellar Accord vessel returned to Earth orbit, dwarfing even the largest human space stations. This time, it wasn't alone. 6 other ships of varying designs accompanied it, each representing different species from the Galactic Alliance. June Park, now Admiral of Earth's newly formed United Space Fleet, watched from the observation deck of Harmony Station. Beside him stood Dr. Rinley and representatives from Earth's Unified Council. They brought friends, said Counselor Sora, her voice betraying nervousness. Or reinforcements, muttered General Quan. The main view screen activated, showing the Valori leader whose skin now pulsed with formal patterns of blue and gold. Greetings, humans of Earth. The Stellar Accord has deliberated on your status. We extend an invitation for your representatives to attend the Grand Assembly on Nexus Prime. A ripple of excitement passed through the command center. This was unprecedented. No species had been invited to Nexus Prime so soon after discovery. We accept your invitation, Jun replied formally. The journey would take 3 weeks using the Accord's faster-than-light technology. Earth selected a delegation of 12 individuals, scientists, diplomats, military officers, and cultural experts. June and Rin were among them. As they boarded the alien vessel, Rin whispered to June, "Remember, we represent all of humanity now." The Valori ship was a marvel of technology and biology working in harmony. Living walls adjusted temperature and light automatically. Gravity shifted seamlessly between sections to accommodate different species. During the journey, the humans met representatives from other worlds. The Ilani were short, 4-armed beings with remarkable mathematical abilities. The Toros resembled Earth bears but communicated through color patterns on their skin. Most intriguing were the Mira, gaseous entities who inhabited special containment suits to interact with solid matter. Your species developed without guidance, said Tala, an Ilani scientist, her 4 hands moving in constant patterns. Most civilizations are shaped by contact with older species. Yours evolved, naturally. Is that unusual? Asked Rin. It is concerning to some, Tala admitted. Unguided species are unpredictable. On the 15th day of their journey, Jun was invited to meet privately with High Counselor Ven, a Valori elder. In a chamber filled with shifting light patterns, Ven explained the truth. Your invitation is not merely diplomatic, the alien said. It is a test. Some members of the Accord believe humanity is dangerous, too aggressive, too innovative, too quick to change. And what do you believe? Jun asked. I believe the Accord has grown stagnant. We have maintained peace for millennia, but at the cost of progress. Nexus Prime appeared on their view screens on the 21st day, a massive artificial world constructed around a small star. Its surface was divided into environments suitable for each member species. The Grand Assembly took place in a vast chamber where thousands of representatives gathered. Some floated in anti-gravity fields, others were projected as holograms, and still others appeared only as patterns of light or sound. The humans were directed to a small platform at the center of the chamber. Humanity stands before the Accord, announced the voice of assembly, a being composed entirely of crystalline structures. They seek recognition as a sovereign species with rights of trade, territory, and knowledge exchange. For hours, representatives questioned the humans about Earth history, technology, and culture. They seemed most troubled by humanity's rapid technological advancement. Your species developed digital technology to spaceflight in less than 2 centuries, noted a Toro's representative. Such acceleration suggests instability. We adapt quickly to challenges, Rin explained. It's how we survived on Earth. The assembly grew tense when records of human warfare were displayed. Murmurs of concern spread through the chamber. June stepped forward. Yes, we have fought wars. We've made terrible mistakes, but we've also created art, music, literature that celebrates life. We've sacrificed for each other. We've protected our world's weaker species. We dream of better futures and work to create them. He displayed images of Earth's natural beauty, human achievements in medicine and science, and finally, children from different nations playing together. We don't claim to be perfect. We only ask for the chance to learn from you, and perhaps to offer something new in return. A silence fell over the assembly. Finally, the voice spoke again. The Accord has existed for 12,000 years. In that time, we have encountered over 300 intelligent species. None have challenged our assumptions as yours has in these few hours. The great chamber hummed with energy as the members communicated in their various ways. Humanity will be granted provisional status in the Stellar Accord. The voice finally declared. For one standard cycle, you may establish an embassy on Nexus Prime. Your abilities and intentions will be further evaluated. It wasn't full acceptance, but it was a beginning. As the humans were escorted from the chamber, Jun noticed the Valori leader's skin glowing with an emotion he hadn't seen before. Hope. 6 months into Earth's provisional status with the Stellar Accord, the human embassy on Nexus Prime had become a hub of activity. Diplomats, scientists, and cultural attaches worked tirelessly to build relationships with alien species, many of whom remained wary of humanity's unpredictable nature. Joan Park stood at the window of his office, watching the artificial sun rise over the curved horizon of the massive space station. A chime announced the arrival of Dr. Rinley. They've announced the trials, she said without preamble. 3 tests to determine if humanity deserves full membership in the Accord. Jun sighed. I expected this. What kind of tests? The trial of wisdom, the trial of creation, and the trial of sacrifice. They begin tomorrow. News spread quickly through the human contingent. The Accord had never granted full membership so quickly to any species. Most waited decades or even centuries for the opportunity to prove themselves. For the trial of wisdom, the Accord selected Min, a young diplomat who had shown skill in understanding alien perspectives. She was brought to the Chamber of Conflicts, where 2 species, the crystalline poser and the aquatic Nulians, had been locked in a territorial dispute for over 300 years. You have 1 day to propose a solution, the Accord judge informed her. Previous mediators have all failed. Min spent hours reviewing the complex case. The dispute involved a mineral-rich asteroid belt that both species claimed. The poser needed the minerals for reproduction, while the Nulians required them for their environmental systems. As her time ran out, Min presented her solution. Neither side should own the asteroids, she explained. Instead, create a joint mining operation where both species work together. The poser can extract minerals with minimal waste due to their crystalline anatomy, while the Nulians can process them efficiently with their liquid-based technology. The Accord judges exchanged glances. This solution had never been proposed, not because it was impossible, but because neither species had considered cooperation. The human passes the trial of wisdom, the judge announced. She has shown that sometimes the wisest path is not to choose sides, but to create a new way forward. The next day, Chief Engineer Thomas faced the trial of creation. He was brought to a laboratory containing alien technology from across the galaxy. The Nexus Prime power grid is facing imminent failure in Sector 7, explained the Ilani supervisor. It contains 19 different species habitats. You have 6 hours to prevent disaster. Thomas studied the systems, quickly realizing the problem was beyond Earth's technological understanding. Instead of trying to repair the alien power grid directly, He built an emergency bypass using principles from multiple species technologies combined with human ingenuity. This won't fix the underlying issue, he admitted, but it will stabilize the system while giving your engineers time for proper repairs. The Yeleni supervisor tested the bypass. Not only did it work, but it was more efficient than expected. The human passes the trial of creation, the supervisor announced. He has shown that limitations in knowledge can be overcome with adaptability and practical thinking. For the final trial of sacrifice, Captain Hannah Kim was chosen. She was taken to the Accord's defensive command center just as alarms blared throughout the station. A rogue comet with unusual properties is on collision course with Nexus Prime, explained the Tauros commander. Our standard defenses cannot affect it. Millions will die unless a solution is found. The command center scrambled as Hannah studied the situation. The comet contained elements that made it resistant to the Accord's energy weapons. Their only option was to manually place deflection charges, but the radiation would be fatal to anyone who attempted it. I'll take a shuttle, Hannah said immediately. I can place the charges. The radiation will kill you before you return, warned the commander. I understand. As Hannah prepared for launch, June and Rin burst into the command center. Wait, called June. We have another option. Earth's recent contribution to the Accord had been advanced robotics that could be remotely operated. Technology the Accord had never fully developed due to their reliance on automated systems. We can modify a maintenance drone to place the charges, Rin explained. No one needs to die today. Working together, humans and aliens reprogrammed the drone. Hannah piloted it remotely, successfully placing the charges that diverted the comet. The Accord High Council convened immediately after the crisis passed. The humans have passed all 3 trials, announced the voice of the assembly. But the final trial revealed something unexpected. When faced with certain death, the human was willing to sacrifice herself. Yet her companions found a solution that prevented that sacrifice. We value life, June explained simply. We'll give our lives if necessary, but we'll use every ounce of creativity to find another way first. The voice was silent for a moment, then spoke words that would change humanity's future forever. The Stellar Accord welcomes humanity as full members. You have much to learn from us, but perhaps we have things to learn from you as well. Humanity's first year as full members of the Stellar Accord had brought unprecedented change. Earth technologies were being integrated across the galaxy, while human scientists worked alongside alien experts to solve problems neither could address alone. The human approach to challenges, creative, adaptable, often unconventional, had begun to influence even the oldest Accord species. Not everyone welcomed this change. Joan Park noticed the tension during council meetings. Several species, particularly the Drex, a highly structured, hierarchical civilization that had been part of the Accord for millennia, viewed humanity's rapid rise with suspicion. Ambassador Park, Councillor Mex of the Drex, approached him after one particularly heated session. Your species moves too quickly. There are proper channels, traditions that have maintained galactic harmony for thousands of years. We mean no disrespect, Jun replied carefully. Humans simply solve problems differently. Indeed, Mex said, his scaled face unreadable. Different is not always better. The following week, Rin Li discovered discrepancies in the translation protocols used during human presentations to the Accord. Our proposals are being subtly altered, she explained to June in their secure office. The meaning shifts just enough to make our ideas seem aggressive or self-serving. Can you prove it? June asked. Not yet. The changes are too sophisticated to be accidents. They decided to set a trap. During the next council meeting, Earth proposed a new educational exchange program, but Rin had embedded a special linguistic marker in the proposal, one that would reveal any tampering. As suspected, when the proposal was presented to the full Accord, key phrases had been modified. Words like cooperative learning became knowledge acquisition, changing the entire tone from sharing to taking. The translation has been tampered with, Job announced, standing before the council. "Our true proposal is different." He activated a recording of the original version. Chaos erupted in the chamber. Most species were outraged at the deception, but the Drex representatives remained suspiciously calm. That evening, as Hana Kim was returning to the human embassy, she noticed she was being followed. Instead of heading to her quarters, she diverted to a public area filled with various species. The shadowy figure following her disappeared into the crowd. Back at the embassy, they found their secure systems had been breached. Someone had accessed their private communications with Earth. "We're being set up," Thomas concluded. But why? Their answer came 2 days later when an explosion rocked the Accord's main power hub. Minutes afterward, emergency broadcasts across Nexus Prime announced that human technology was responsible, specifically, a power integration module Earth had recently installed. June and his team were immediately placed under house arrest at the embassy. The news spread across the station. Humans had sabotaged Nexus Prime's critical systems, proving they couldn't be trusted. "This is absurd," June protested to the Valori security chief who had once been their ally. "Why would we damage systems we helped build?" "The evidence is compelling," the Valori replied, skin now a cold blue. "The explosive device contains Earth minerals and uses your technological signatures." Confined to the embassy, the human team worked frantically to understand what had happened. The module was tampered with, Thomas insisted after reviewing the specifications. "Someone modified our design to fail catastrophically." Rin had been unusually quiet, analyzing station security feeds she had secretly archived. "Look at this," she finally said, pointing to footage from 3 days earlier. The video showed a Drex technician accessing the power hub during off hours. "Why would the Drex sabotage the station?" Hannah asked. "Not the station," Joan realized. "Us. They want humanity removed from the Accord." Using their remaining access to communication systems, they contacted their one remaining ally, Tala, the Ilani scientist who had first befriended them. "You must bring this evidence to the High Council," June urged, "before the Drex can finish whatever they're planning." Tala hesitated. "Accusing the Drex is dangerous. They've been fundamental to the Accord for thousands of years." "Then why would they do this?" Hannah asked. Tala's forehands moved nervously. "There's something you don't know. The Accord's oldest prophecy speaks of a young species that will bring both revolution and ruin. Many believe this refers to humanity." While they were speaking, alarms blared throughout Nexus Prime. The station's defensive systems had activated, targeting an Earth supply ship that had just arrived through the jump point. "They're going to destroy an innocent vessel," Jun realized in horror. With seconds to act, Thomas bypassed the embassy's security lockdown, using techniques he'd learned from studying alien technology. The team rushed to the Defense Control Center, where they found Counselor Mex overriding the system. "Stop," June commanded. "We have proof of your sabotage." Mex turned, his scaled face showing no emotion. "Proof means nothing. The Council has already voted. Humanity will be expelled from the Accord today." "Why?" Rin demanded. "What are you afraid of?" "Change," Mex replied simply. "For 12,000 years, the Drex have guided the Accord from the shadows. Your kind threatens that order with your innovations, your questions, your refusal to accept your proper place." As security forces surrounded them, Tala arrived with members of the High Council just in time to witness Mex's confession. The Earth vessel was spared, but the diplomatic damage was done. The greatest alliance in the galaxy now stood at a crossroads, divided between ancient stability and uncertain progress. 3 months after the Drex conspiracy was exposed, Jun Park stood before the Stellar Accord's Grand Assembly. The massive chamber was filled to capacity with representatives from every member species. This meeting would determine not just humanity's future, but potentially the future of the entire Galactic Alliance. For 12,000 years, the Accord has maintained peace through order and tradition, Jum began. But peace is not the same as progress. The Drex exploited your trust because they feared change. They feared what humanity represents. Murmurs rippled through the assembly. The Drex delegates had been stripped of their positions after evidence revealed centuries of manipulation. Many older species were still processing what this meant for the Accord's history. Humans don't live for thousands of years like some of you, Jun continued. Our lives are short. Perhaps that's why we're always in a hurry, always questioning, always trying new approaches. We don't have the luxury of time. The Valori High Elder, skin shifting in thoughtful patterns, spoke next. What exactly are you proposing, Ambassador Park? A new foundation for the Accord, not built on age or tradition, but on shared principles. Equal voice for all species, transparent decision-making, and most importantly, a commitment to growth, not just stability. The debate lasted for days. Some species, particularly the older members, resisted any change to the structures that had governed them for millennia. Others, especially those who had joined more recently, supported the human proposal. On the final day of deliberation, Dr. Rin Li presented the most radical idea yet. The Accord has always been governed by the Council of Elders, she explained. We propose adding a second chamber, a Council of Innovation, where younger members of each species can propose new solutions to galactic problems. The assembly erupted in chaos. Such a fundamental change to governance was unprecedented. Yet, as the discussion continued, a surprising number of species began to support the idea. Our civilization has not created anything truly new in 500 years, admitted an Ilani representative. Perhaps we have valued stability too much and progress too little. When the final vote came, the proposal passed by a narrow margin. The Stellar Accord would be restructured into two complementary bodies: the traditional Council of Elders providing wisdom and continuity, and the new Council of Innovation driving progress and adaptation. Captain Hannah Kim was selected as humanity's first representative to the new council. Within weeks, the changes became apparent. Species that had rarely spoken in the old Accord began sharing ideas. Cross-species collaboration flourished as artificial barriers broke down. 6 months later, the first major test of the new system arrived. A massive solar flare from a nearby star threatened to destroy 3 inhabited worlds. Under the old Accord, the response would have been evacuation, slow, costly, and certain to result in many deaths. Instead, the Council of Innovation proposed a radical solution: a network of atmosphere-shielding satellites using technology from 6 different species, coordinated by human-designed artificial intelligence. It's never been attempted, warned an elder. There are too many unknowns. That's precisely why we must try, Hannah replied. Innovation always involves risk. The shielding network was deployed just days before the solar flare hit. It worked better than anyone expected, protecting billions of lives across the threatened planets. News of the success spread throughout the galaxy. Species that had previously avoided joining the Accord began sending observers, intrigued by the new direction. 1 year after the restructuring, Jun Park prepared to return to Earth. His diplomatic mission was complete, though humanity's journey within the Accord was just beginning. Before his departure, the Valori High Elder requested a private meeting. Your species has changed the Accord more in 1 year than it changed in the previous 1,000, the Elder said, skin glowing with complex emotions. Some still fear where this path leads. Change always brings fear, Jun agreed, but it also brings possibility. The Elder's color shifted to a deep gold, a sign of profound respect in Valori culture. There is an ancient text that few remember. It speaks not of a species that brings ruin, as the Drex claimed, but of one that brings renewal when the galaxy grows stagnant. Perhaps this is humanity's true role. On his final day on Nexus Prime, Jun visited the newly constructed Earth Garden, a space filled with plants and animals from humanity's homeworld. There he found members of a dozen different species studying Earth's biodiversity with fascination. A young Tauros approached him shyly. Is it true humans dream of things that don't exist, then try to create them? Yes, Jun smiled. We call it imagination. Our species lost that ability long ago, the Toros admitted. But watching humans has made me wonder if we could learn it again. As June boarded the ship that would take him home, he realized humanity's greatest contribution to the galaxy might not be technology or innovation, but something far more fundamental: the reminder that progress comes not from fearing change, but from embracing it. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly as it should be.